Hi, I'm Audra. Join me this week as I make a large batch of meatballs. It's a great recipe. You can even freeze them after they're done.
I'm adding one medium Spanish onion into my ground meat mixture. So for today's recipe, I'm actually using 5 pounds of ground meat. So I'm using 3 pounds of ground chicken. There's different types of ground chicken here. It's whatever I had in my freezer. And then I also pulled out 2 pounds of ground beef. And this is also whatever I just had in the freezer. I am using up all of my ground meat for this recipe. I find that making a large batch of meatballs is easier to do all at once than 1 pound at a time. I will always add salt and pepper to my meatballs, as well as I have garlic powder, not garlic salt. I have parsley, which is just something to add a little bit of flavor. I have some Italian seasoning also. This is a very mild flavor that will only add a hint of something there. And then just to add a little bit of heat, I always add a couple pinches of red pepper flakes. And it's just a nice heat that's in the background. I also add 1 bouillon cube of chicken broth into my meatball mixture. And here are the last few ingredients of the recipe. So I'm going to be using 3 large eggs. I have a cup of milk, and then I have breadcrumbs here that I'll be using to bind all of the meatballs together. I will also be including cracker crumbs, so I like to have a little bit of a different texture and flavor in my meatballs. So I've set my oven to preheat at 400. I like to do my meatballs in the oven. I just find I can do 2 trays at a time and it's a lot faster to get them through. So now I put all of the meat into one giant bowl. So I have the 2 pounds of beef in here, the 3 pounds of chicken, and now I'm just going to start adding all my other ingredients.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
So the consistency we're looking for is something that's a bit gummy. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but what you're trying to look for is something that when you form it into a ball, it will hold its shape. If it's too wet, then it's just going to blob out when it's on the cookie sheet. And if it's too dry, well, it's just not going to cook well and it's actually going to break apart once it's in the oven cooking. So I find that this texture where it's still sticky means it has a nice moisture content so it won't dry out in the oven. Don't forget to add the salt and pepper. I have this really cute little old vintage pepper mill that I absolutely love using. So I'm using coarse salts because that's what I have, and it's just going to get mixed in really easily into this, so I'm not too worried. So once again, just mix it all up, and you don't want to overmix because that's actually how your meatballs become tough. So during this last final mix, I'm just looking to make sure there's no dry bits anywhere. So I'm just looking to see there's no pockets of breadcrumbs anywhere, no pockets of parsley or other seasonings that have just looped together. So this is my opportunity to do one last mix through all of this. A fun little trick, if you have these mini muffin trays, they're great for actually portion sizing your meatballs. So I have 2 trays here, there's 24 in each, and this way I know exactly what size are going into each tray. Even though these cookie trays are non-stick, I like to spray them down with some cooking spray as well. It just helps to make sure that when I do need to pop out the meatballs at the end, nothing's gonna stick in the tray. So I just use this Compliments Original Flavor non-stick cooking spray. Works really, really well. Using a regular spoon, I'm going to scoop some of the mixture, I'm going to form it into a ball, and I'm going to pop it into the muffin tray.
When all of your meatballs are ready to go, place them in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit and bake them for 18 to 20 minutes until they're done. You either can check them by thermometer and make sure you know what the temperature needs to be, or easily just take them out and cut one open.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If you enjoyed this recipe, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.